the real reason why 90% of men over 40 can't develop their upper chest. One of the biggest frustrations for those who truly dedicate themselves to training and diet is the difficulty in developing a specific area of the body. Believe me, this happens to everyone, but without a doubt, the upper chest is one that most people give up trying to develop. Many men, even after years of training, have a well-developed lower chest, but the upper portion with that prominent clavicle, providing a severe sense of disproportion. And the truth is that this region of the chest really is a more difficult part to develop. If you're over 40, you've probably noticed that the natural decline in hormone levels, especially testosterone, makes everything even more complicated. Thinking about this problem, today you'll see the main mistakes that prevent most men from developing a good upper chest. Additionally, you'll see the 4 best exercises to transform this problematic area. And no, you don't need to do all of them. Choosing just 2 to include in your weekly routine is enough. Before we begin, please tell us through the comments your name and the city where you're watching our content from. We'd love to know. Reason number 1, you're not using the correct angles. Many already know that to train the upper chest, it's necessary to incline the bench, whether on the bench press or flies. But few know the ideal angles for this incline. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research analyzed the muscular activation of the chest at different incline angles and discovered that inclines below 30 degrees still favor more the middle part of the chest, while inclines above 45 degrees begin to transfer much of the work to the anterior deltoids, reducing the training efficiency for the upper chest. It's a delicate balance. Insufficient incline doesn't adequately target the upper chest, and excessive incline transfers the work to the shoulders. We can conclude that the best angles for upper chest activation are between 30 and 45 degrees. Another crucial point is that the incline angle should be adjusted according to the specific exercise and your individual biomechanics. The height of the bench also matters. If you're taller, you may need to adjust your body position on the bench to ensure that the path of the bar or dumbbells is aligned with the upper portion of the chest. A common mistake is simply following the gym bench's standard angle without making these individual adjustments. Number 2, not prioritizing the upper chest. One of the fundamental principles of hypertrophy training is prioritizing weak points. If your upper chest is lagging behind other parts, it should receive special attention at the beginning of your training session, when you have maximum energy and full concentration capacity. Training science has consistently demonstrated that muscle groups trained at the beginning of the session experience greater gains in strength and hypertrophy. A study published in the European Journal of Sports Science showed that exercises performed at the beginning of training resulted in approximately 8% greater strength gains compared to the same exercises performed at the end of the session. However, most men start chest training with the traditional flat bench press, which emphasizes more the middle and lower parts of the chest. When they finally get to exercises for the upper chest, they're already fatigued or no longer have that energy and vigor from the beginning. This is a strategic mistake that sabotages your long-term results. To correct this, reorganize your chest training routine. Always start with 1 or 2 specific exercises for the upper chest when you're fresh and focused. It could be an incline dumbbell press or a low cable crossover. Number 3, you can't get the upper chest to do the work. One of the most subtle and difficult errors to perceive is when you're performing the correct movement at the appropriate angle, but still the upper chest isn't being the protagonist of the exercise. The position of the elbows during pressing movements is crucial to determine which muscles are actually supporting the load. Many men, especially those with shoulders more developed than the chest, tend to keep their elbows too wide, forming almost 90 degrees with the body during the incline bench press. This position transfers much of the work to the anterior deltoids and significantly reduces the participation of the upper chest. It's important to understand that just because we're doing incline bench press doesn't mean the upper chest is being adequately worked. The arm path determines which muscles support most of the load. To correct this problem, consciously focus on keeping your elbows closer to your body during pressing exercises. Imagine that you're trying to push your elbows toward your hips while pressing the weight. This mental image helps maintain the correct angle. Additionally, reduce the load if necessary. Many men use too much weight and end up recruiting other muscles to compensate. Number 4. You ignore the main function of the chest. The fundamental function of the chest, especially the upper chest, is often forgotten during exercise execution. At its essence, the primary function of the pectoralis major is to pull the arms inward and across the body, called horizontal adduction. When we perform exercises like the incline bench press, we tend to focus only on the movement of pushing the weight upward. However, this mental visualization can lead to suboptimal chest activation. Instead, the practitioner should visualize and focus on bringing the biceps toward the chest while pressing the weight. This change in mental focus may seem subtle, but it makes a significant difference in muscular activation. A practical technique is, during the concentric phase of the movement, imagine that you're trying to bring your hands or elbows together at the top of the movement, even though they never touch. This mental intention directs the nervous system to prioritarily recruit the chest fibers instead of transferring the work to the shoulders or triceps. Another important aspect is understanding that the upper chest also actively participates in shoulder flexion, which is the movement of raising the arm in front of the body. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. Number 5. Positioning yourself incorrectly on the bench. A crucial but frequently neglected mistake is how you position yourself on the bench before even starting the exercise. The initial position can determine how much your muscle fibers will be stimulated throughout the movement. The muscle fibers of the upper chest benefit significantly when they are stimulated at greater muscle lengths, that is, when they are in a pre-stretched state before contraction. This relates to the muscle's length tension law, which indicates that a muscle generates maximum force when it's slightly stretched beyond its resting length. To take advantage of this physiological property, you should position your body to maximize the pre-stretch of the upper chest. This can be achieved by slightly elevating the chest toward the ceiling while simultaneously retracting the scapulae and keeping the shoulders back. This posture creates a slight arch in the upper back, placing the upper chest in a position of greater stretch. Many men, especially those over 40 with postural problems, tend to position themselves flat or even with rounded backs on the bench. This position not only reduces the exercise's efficiency, but also significantly increases the risk of shoulder injuries. Before grabbing the weight, establish your base. Plant your feet firmly on the floor, press the upper back against the bench, pull the scapulae back and down, and elevate the sternum. Maintain this position throughout the entire set. Number 6. Postural imbalance. With advancing age, especially after 40, many men develop significant muscle tightness in the chest and shoulder region, resulting in a kyphotic posture, that famous hunchback with shoulders curved forward. This postural change is not just an aesthetic problem. It places the upper chest at a severe biomechanical disadvantage. When your shoulders are constantly projected forward, the upper chest fibers are already in a partially shortened state before you even begin the exercise. This drastically reduces the contraction potential and, consequently, the stimulus for growth. Think of the muscle as a rubber band. If it's already partially contracted at rest, you lose range of motion and tension potential during the exercise. Before focusing on specific exercises for the upper chest, it's essential to correct these postural imbalances. Include mobility, exercises for the thoracic spine, and stretches for the chest in your routine. Rows for the upper back, exercises for the middle and lower trapezius, and specific work for the rhomboids will help pull your shoulders back to the correct position. Dedicate at least 10 minutes before each chest workout to postural preparation. This can include wall stretches for the chest, thoracic rotations, and activation of back muscles. This preparation is not a waste of time. Now that you already know the 6 main reasons why your upper chest doesn't develop, let's go to the best exercises to transform this area. Exercise number 4, low cable crossover. The differential of the low cable crossover lies in the ability to completely isolate the chest, almost totally eliminating the participation of the triceps, which frequently steals the work in pressing exercises like the bench press. To execute correctly, position yourself between 2 low pulleys with your feet in a comfortable and stable stance, slightly apart. Hold the handles with your arms extended and slightly flexed at the elbows. The starting position should have your arms open laterally and slightly back, creating a pre-stretch in the chest. The movement consists of bringing your hands up and forward in an ascending arc, as if you were hugging a large tree, ending with your hands meeting at chin height or slightly above. Throughout the entire execution, keep the core engaged and avoid swinging the body to use momentum. The concentric phase, when you bring the cables up, should last about 1 second, while the eccentric phase, when you return to the starting position, should be controlled and take about 2 to 3 seconds. This emphasis on the eccentric phase maximizes positive muscle damage and consequently hypertrophy. I recommend performing 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Since this is an isolation exercise, the focus should be on the mind-muscle connection and perfect technique, not on lifting the maximum possible weight. The main mistakes to avoid are using excessive weight that forces you to use your whole body to move the load, leaving the elbows too flexed, transforming the movement into a triceps exercise, and not controlling the eccentric phase, letting the weight return quickly. As for contraindications, people with acute shoulder injuries or history of shoulder dislocation should be cautious. Number 3. Decline push-up. The decline push-up is possibly the most underestimated exercise for the upper chest, especially because it doesn't require sophisticated equipment. Its great differential lies in body positioning. By elevating the feet above trunk level, you alter the resistance angle, directing more work to the clavicular portion of the chest. First, it allows precise control of range of motion, making it possible to work in partial ranges when necessary to avoid joint discomfort. Second, the decline push-up naturally promotes scapular retraction, creating that ideal pre-stretch of the upper chest we mentioned earlier. To execute correctly, position your feet on an elevated platform, which can be a bench, step, or even a stability ball for an additional challenge. The higher the platform, the greater the focus on the upper chest. Position your hands a little closer than in the traditional push-up, approximately shoulder width. Before starting the movement, establish the correct body position, core engaged, neutral spine, elevated chest, and slightly retracted scapulae. Lower in a controlled manner until your chest is a few inches from the floor, keeping the elbows at approximately a 45-degree angle relative to the body. At this point, you should feel a significant stretch in the upper chest. Press back to the starting position, focusing on using the chest, not the shoulders, to generate the force. I recommend starting with 3 sets to muscular failure. If you can easily do more than 20 repetitions, increase the platform height or add weight using a backpack with weight plates. The main mistakes to avoid are allowing the hips to drop, creating a broken line in the body, leaving the elbows too wide, which transfers the work to the shoulders, and lowering too quickly, without control. As for contraindications, people with high blood pressure should be cautious, as the decline position can temporarily increase blood pressure. Number 2. Incline dumbbell fly. The main differential of this exercise lies in the ability to create maximum tension in the upper chest at the position of greatest stretch, precisely where the stimulus for hypertrophy is optimized. Unlike pressing exercises like the bench press, the fly isolates the upper chest, almost completely eliminating triceps participation. Additionally, dumbbells allow a greater range of motion compared to the bar, enabling a deeper chest stretch in the lower position. To correctly execute the incline dumbbell fly, adjust the bench at an angle between 30 and 45 degrees. Sit with your back firmly supported on the backrest, chest elevated, and scapulae retracted. Hold the dumbbells above the chest with arms extended but not locked, and with a slight internal rotation of the wrists so that the palms face each other. The movement consists of opening the arms laterally in a wide arc, maintaining a slight constant flexion in the elbows throughout the exercise. Lower the dumbbells until you feel a significant stretch in the chest, typically when the arms are parallel to the floor or slightly below. On the way up, focus on using the chest to bring the dumbbells back to the starting position, as if you were hugging a large ball. It's fundamental that you don't change the elbow angle during the movement. If you're flexing the elbows more during the ascent, you're transforming the exercise into a press and losing the benefit of isolation. I recommend performing 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. This is an exercise where less is more. Use a weight that you can control perfectly and feel the deep stretch in each repetition. The main mistakes to avoid are using excessive weight that forces you to transform the movement into a press, lowering too quickly without controlling the eccentric phase, and not maintaining scapular retraction throughout the entire movement. As for contraindications, people with a history of shoulder injuries, especially rotator cuff injuries, should have extreme caution. Number 1. Incline dumbbell press. The incline dumbbell press is considered by many the king of upper chest exercises, and with good reason. Dumbbells offer significant advantages over the bar. First, they allow a considerably greater range of motion, which is crucial to maximize the stretch and contraction of the upper chest. Second, each arm works independently, eliminating the possibility of one side compensating for the other and creating muscular imbalances. Third, dumbbells allow a safer and more controlled load progression, especially important for men over 40. And perhaps most importantly, if you reach muscular failure, you can simply drop the dumbbells to your side without needing a training partner, making the exercise much safer. To execute correctly, adjust the bench between 30 and 45 degrees and sit with your back firmly supported. Hold the dumbbells and position them above the chest with arms extended. Before starting, establish your base by retracting the scapulae and elevating the chest. Lower the dumbbells in a controlled manner, keeping the elbows at approximately 45 degrees relative to the body. This elbow angle is absolutely crucial. Many men make the mistake of leaving the elbows too wide, almost perpendicular to the body, which transfers the work to the anterior deltoids and places excessive stress on the shoulder joints. Lower until the dumbbells are at chest height or slightly below, creating a deep stretch in the upper chest. Press the dumbbells back up, focusing on bringing the biceps toward each other, not just pushing the weight vertically. At the top of the movement, you can let the dumbbells touch lightly, which increases chest contraction. This mental visualization helps maintain focus on the chest instead of simply pushing the weight. The main mistakes to avoid are leaving the elbows too wide, which overloads the shoulders, using excessive weight that compromises technique, not controlling the descent and allowing the dumbbells to fall quickly, and losing scapular retraction during the exercise. I recommend performing 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10 repetitions. This is a compound exercise where you can use heavier loads, but never sacrifice technique for load. As for contraindications, people with acute shoulder injuries, rotator cuff problems, or joint instability should consult a professional before performing this exercise. If you feel sharp pain during the movement, stop immediately. If you enjoyed this and want to also discover the main reasons why your biceps don't grow, we've left a video appearing right now on the screen showing each of them better. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.